How do we look? Ooh, kind of shiny. Okay. Maybe I should put on some makeup. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling the makeup right now. So we're just going to keep it moving. Can't sit all the way back in this chair either. It squeaks. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ev, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a mini life update, and I'm also going to be sharing with you 5 reasons why my personal brand was not sustainable. But before I jump into everything, I do want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and keeping you girls lights on, including all of the studio lights, okay? They are the sponsor for today's video. With BetterHelp, you can access over 20,000 licensed professionals to help aid in your mental health journey. BetterHelp is not a crisis line, and it is not self-help. It is professional online therapy that you can get to securely online. Once you get through the initial assessment, BetterHelp will pair you with your own professional licensed therapist. And if you guys have ever tried to look for therapists in your area, you know it can be kind of a hassle. This kind of takes the hassle out of the therapy searching process. I know also that you kind of have to date your therapist and see if it's a good fit for you, because not everyone is going to be that good fit initially. So it is free and easy to switch. It is not going to be an extra strenuous process, and you don't have to start over, which I think is great. Sometimes therapists' office, if they're really good, they don't have their book open. It can be a long time before you get an appointment, but once you get started and log into your account, you can start communicating with your therapist in as little as 48 hours. In your account, you can message your therapist and get a thoughtful and timely response. You can also set up video calls or phone calls, so you don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room or wait till somebody gets to you. It's definitely a lot more convenient if you even have like commuter problems. So this kind of brings therapy to you. This service is available worldwide and cheaper than traditional therapy, but financial aid is also available if you're interested. So if you have prioritized your mental health and want to take the first step but don't know where to go, this is a convenient option, once again, that brings therapy right to your computer screen. You can visit BetterHelp.com, that is BetterHelp.com/Evany, to receive 10% off of your first month. Hey guys, so now that we are here, I feel like I should be so much closer. This is my like, I feel so far away, but like in order to get everything in the frame and all the things, it just seems whatever. We figure it out. We figure out the spacing and all the things. We'll figure it out. But life update. All right, so your girl is officially a certified life coach. I did it! So I'm really excited. I took the final exam and studied and did all the things last week, and I officially got my certification on Tuesday. I want to say the 22nd. So it's still kind of brand new for me. I'm filming this video on the 24th, but it's still kind of brand new for me, but I'm really proud of myself. We are certified. I am very confident in my skill set, and I actually am really excited to like get started and do all the things. I mean, I've technically already started, but as far as setting up the back office business side, it has been a lot. Y'all, like, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. That's all I gotta say. Or the broke, okay? Not for the weak or the broke. Seeing my growth and progress and transformation, super hype. You know, we are going and growing, and I am blessed, just blessed, okay, to even have made it to the end of the journey and gotten a certification. And now, you know, it's time to fly. We out here. I mean, I've gone over what you can expect on the channel from this point forward, but I did want to go over kind of why I feel like my personal brand was not sustainable. And once again, why it was not sustainable for me. So I do have my notes here, so I don't get too off track, because your girl can ramble. We know this. So you guys know my channel was steeped in beauty, and more specifically niche down was natural hair, but overall it fell under the beauty umbrella. With a beauty channel, I kind of felt like the basis even of the beauty industry is that people are seeking something outside of themselves to make them beautiful or make them happy. With a lot of my spiritual growth and personal development, you figure out very quickly that the material world and material things do not make you happy. You could actually have it all, and there are people who are still committing suicide with thousands, millions of dollars in their bank account. It does not matter. So in order to generate any kind of happiness, it's this angle of looking within, which is what I do with life coaching. So for me specifically, beauty was the opposite. It was completely like the opposite of alignment. Because if I'm looking within for answers, how am I going to continue to promote on the outside of myself that you need this product, you need this nail kit, you need this, you know, gel or whatever it is? The idea was that you're good enough just how you are. Now, I think I have always been authentic and tried to stay in alignment on my channel, but with YouTube, the algorithm and any kind of marketing or high consumption industries, what you're really doing is selling. And if you stop selling, right, you're not really making money. The views go down, the commissions go down, the sponsorship opportunities go down, if your reach goes down, it's all connected. And while it can be something that is long-term, you know, like I don't know. And I'm not going to say that I'm not even going to say that my brand wasn't sustainable long-term, because what is this, year 8? That sounds pretty long-term to me. You know what I'm saying? But the idea is that if you're not going to continue selling and not going to continue marketing, and you're going to start looking within, if you're going to focus on intangible things, then the beauty industry is not really the space to do it. While I still participate in consumption, right, it's definitely not at the rate that it used to be, and it's definitely no longer in alignment. So I guess what's more accurate is that I outgrew the space, but the beauty industry is kind of rigged up for you to buy. Whatever the thing is, it's outside of yourself. Which kind of segues into my second point as to why my brand was not sustainable long-term, is that there is a lot of materialism and high consumption rates. So with business in general, and this is entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you have to put out a lot of money or spend a lot of money to get the gains and get the returns back. For the most part, with business, you have to build over time, and that takes first and then it gives second. And for me, with the high consumption rate, I didn't like my own spending habits. And I have mentioned this on my channel before. You guys know at one point I was definitely a product junkie. I definitely do believe it is part of a hair journey, like it's a phase in the hair journey, but staying on YouTube and having your brand centered around a high consumption rate just means that you're like spending. One thing that I've been educating myself on just in my free time when it comes to business and building an entrepreneurship is that Black people, not all of them, but a majority of them, can be emotional spenders. And the idea that I was also becoming an emotional spender did not sit well with me. The high consumption rate based around an emotion of trying to get something outside of myself was just like, okay, this is a lot. Even the process of spending, like, where am I putting my money? Like, is this actually creating a change? Is this actually me being the change that I want to see? Because that has been like such a huge overarching principle in my life. And while I think my imagery was very powerful, you know, like a darker skinned woman, growing her hair out, reaching hair lengths, having more progressive conversations, but also sharing what works for me, I think that was something that fit earlier in the journey. But then I kind of, like I said, I outgrew the space, and it's like, okay, this is still very image driven, and I need something deeper than these high consumption rates and this image being out there. I think my values and priorities just shifted, and it was hard for me to stay in the old space. So that's reason number 2, but like in a nutshell, it's the high consumption rates and the materialism that was associated with my beauty channel. I did not like that. The third reason why I don't think my beauty channel was as sustainable as I thought was because literally, I think this is part of the pandemic. I had mentioned before, my priorities just shifted. It's like people are actually dying. Dying, and I'm promoting hair products, you know? And then it was a lot of other things that resurfaced in American history, the racial injustice, and even still how a lot of minority communities are disproportionately affected by anything that can happen, any negative thing that can happen. They're so much more vulnerable and volatile to change, and it just didn't feel right post-pandemic to have the same priorities. Everybody has their own priority list, and finding a new normal has been a challenge, I think, for most people in the world. But the idea that I was gonna continue to promote beauty, it's like, beauty can't grow with you like I thought it did. And maybe with some people, it absolutely can. You can absolutely grow with a beauty channel. But for me, it just didn't sit right. It didn't feel right. It didn't fit anymore to grow with beauty. Business is business. The world will still go round. I would much rather be a producer than a consumer. I personally think I thought beauty had a larger capacity within me, and turns out it didn't. So that's point number 3. Basically, it didn't match. Point number 4 is that once I had gone through my spiritual growth and shift, I did not want to be the center of my channel anymore. It was like this really weird unbecoming. I've been telling you guys, I've been unbecoming. I've been a great undoing, right? A personal brand is very, very, very personal, and I did not want things to be centered around me anymore. I wanted them to be, you know, more uplifted. Like, if I were the platform to like help promote other people, that's amazing. But me being the center, or like having a self-centered channel, means that I constantly have to go out and consume with the materialism something outside of myself in order to promote and market and sustain a beauty channel with a lot of concepts that I just didn't prioritize anymore. I don't know, it was a lot of me. It was a lot of me, and I'm like, all right, I have graduated out of the me phase. Now I would rather it be about me helping people, and I don't know how to help people with beauty in the way that I would like to show up for them. So was I helping people with hair care routines and regimens? Absolutely. Was I helping you with product decisions and price points and information? Absolutely. But when people are getting sick and losing their lives, and it just rearranged all the priorities in my head to be intentional about spending time with my friends and family, where my mindset is currently, how I'm, you know, moving through the world. Am I a good friend? Am I a good sister? Am I a good daughter? Like, how do I show up in my relationships? How do I manage my money? How do I manage my energy? And all of those things kind of culminated in like me getting into life coaching, because if I can help myself through this transformation and kind of like be guided on this path, I think that's what I would also like to help other people do. Live a more authentic life, and for me, a more intentional and authentic life. So point number 4 is that my personal brand was very personal. It's very centered around one person, and it's like, I don't want it to be about me anymore. And when you have a personal brand, you do not have the luxury of saying, I don't want it to be about me anymore. It's like, no, that is the brand. You are the brand. You are the brand. And ironically, I still feel like me living an authentic life can still be empowering and inspiring to other people, but it's just in a completely different way. Like, it's a lot less in your face and a lot more subtle. Like, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's not a YouTube video, okay? And my 5th and final point why my brand was not sustainable long term was because you literally, like, I got to the point in my brand where it's like I either need to expand and become, you know, a team, because you can't do everything by yourself. Like, doing things on a budget and by yourself in the beginning is like the startup, the entrepreneur startup hustle. Like, it just is what it is. But I either needed to expand or I needed to pivot. And I think that like point came in 2020 where I came to the end of myself, and the idea was that if I no longer want a brand to be about me, if I no longer want a personal brand, if I'm not participating in the high consumption rates, if I'm not team materialism and buy something outside of yourself as much as I used to be, right? I'm not saying I don't do it at all. I'm just saying I'm not actively promoting it like I used to. If I'm not there, then where am I? And I needed to pivot my content in order to match me, like being in alignment and living an authentic life. And that did not look like doing any more hair videos. I could sum all of this video up and say I just wasn't inspired anymore, but this was the breakdown. I think because things were about me and that entire spiritual growth and that spiritual shift made things not about me. It was more about service to like humankind. So how do I get there from here, like from a personal brand to a service-based brand? And for me, that transformation looks like life coaching. And I couldn't see a future of me continuing a personal brand just because I had undergone so many personal development changes. So that's why I decided to shift and pivot completely out of the space, because it wasn't sustainable, y'all. It wasn't sustainable. I would love to believe that I could have stayed in that space. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Remember to let your spirit, soul, and hair stay lifted like an Afro puff, and subscribe down below for some more. And if you do, then I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.